As an ancient linguistic xeno-paleoanthropologist, I should emphasize that stories, no matter how epic or minimal they are, reflect a time, a place, a people, and an organization of a specific xenoculture. That being said, with Tablet L, it reflected Learptulla's journey from being a perfect savior to becoming someone else, someone who remembers. The plates begin in Chapter 2, Section 1. The battle-damaged Margolis hovered around the scrap remains of the dead Draco ship Peacespringer. Although a majority of the larger hulks had been pulled into the desert planet Moreau's orbit, a plethora of smaller sections were in reach of Learptulla's scavenging crew. In solidarity, Learptulla and Green labored alongside the rest of the Organi Drones.
There must be a weapons cache. I hope the metal's still good for repurposing.
It is not your fault, by the way. Are you okay, my queen?
You don't have to call me queen either. Calling me a queen only perpetuates the authoritarian oppression we all endured as Organi Drones and further distances us from who we used to be.
I choose to call you my queen, not because of your perfection, leadership abilities, charisma, intelligence, stunning beauty, fashion sense with reptilian pressure suits, intelligence, and I can go on. I mostly do it because it annoys you.
Well, if it's your choice, then I'll allow it. I think this blown-out room was the jettisoned weapons cache.
Pressure and bulkhead still intact. It might still hold a trove.
Good. Get the tow cables. Wait, past that blown-out deck, caught among the safety fasteners?
Medical supplies. Whole crates of them.
Let's get them back to the cargo bay.
We've got them past the doors. Locking and repressurizing now. Brace for gravity alignment.
Among the cache of tossed weapons and a clutter of medical supplies, one large machine appeared divine. A machine that seemed both familiar and foreign. Both of them backed away, for something they had known they needed now existed in front of both of them.
A memory machine.
It looks like it's still functional, but it seems incomplete.
Check the other containers.
There's only one vial. It looks like it plugs into the side. Shall I plug it in?
Do it!
Once Green placed the serum within the socket, the machine became alive.
The computer terminal is asking for prep subject for reversal process. Execute the command. Enter yes or no. It's a reversal machine! We found a reversal machine! You should take it.
No, that would be selfish. There's someone with more important knowledge. Someone else deserves it more.
And that's why it is more important. If you can remember why you are so perfect in a savagely imperfect universe, you can also remember why we were all made Organi Drones.
You're right. Okay. I'm ready. Activate the machine.
Learptulla put on the headgear connected to the machine, and at the moment the gear touched the tip of her scalp, she collapsed to the ground.
My queen, Learptulla, are you alright?
Learptulla's experience in the memory machine is, in my opinion, one of the most significant points of her character. This section was a linguistic breakthrough. Breakthroughs that would change the Xeno storytelling world for the greater. Learptulla the Perfect, finding her identity, perhaps discovering all of her imperfections. Her journey now occurring from within. I was very proud of this particular section because of the immense work that was put into it. You see, while this discovery was made, I received word from my wife that Ben, my son, was caught peddling pills in his school. With that news, I had to make a decision. Take some time off to help my wife with Ben's trouble, or push through this minor distraction and continue on with Learptulla's journey. In the end, I believe I made the right decision, since I continue to persevere in breaking the xeno-linguistic ground. Learptulla was far more important at this stage. Besides, at the time, my wife was a competent woman and could handle Ben on her own.
Mary Learptulla Sue. Mary Learptulla Sue. Mary Learptulla Sue. Mary of the Sue. Mary Sue. Mary Sue.
From the depths of her mind, a shadowy figure appeared to her as her younger self.
Is that you?
Mary? Is this who you are now?
Are you me? Am I here?
How imperfect of a mind for one as perfect as you.
Why does it matter how perfect I am?
Because you are Mary Learptulla Sue of the species Sue from the planet Sue. Follow me to see what perfection once looked like.
Is this my old home?
A perfect husband, a perfect wife.
Is this my family?
You had a perfect home,
This was my old life.
a perfect family, a perfect life.
Was I happy?
You were perfection. Blessed from generations of perfection, dedicated to continuing perfection, as was your duty as a Sioux. Until the perfect intergalactic apex predator arrived.
The Draco Federation.
The Draco perfectly executed their invasion, perfectly enslaved the Sioux people, perfectly extracted the resources of the Sioux, and then perfectly left. A once perfect people now made perfect Organi Drones to serve as anything the Draco desired.
Bless us with tasks.
To serve as an obedient serf until they tired of you. To serve as an Organi Drone interrogator until they grew weary of you. To serve as a warrior until they feared you. To serve as entertainment until they loved you. And finally, to choose between love or life as a gladiator by those who owned you.
I've lived so many lives. I was good. I was evil.
Though troubling and chaotic, your fate is perfectly cyclical and inevitable. Oppression will continue. Those who are oppressed will become the oppressors. The demise of all you have built for those who follow you merely fail. Become pre-programmed and repurposed for the organic drone servitude.
Then the cycle has to end, no matter what it costs.
When you reach the end, let us see if you can change the cycle.
What did you see? You were out for 10 breaths' time.
10 breaths? No, I was out. I saw my entire past. I saw my present. I saw my future. I have to break the cycle because I know now. I'm imperfect after all.
My queen? Where are you going? Learptulla? Is everything all right?
As if with conviction, she arrived in the docking bay where Prixus and the other gladiators resided.
Learptulla,
Life? You chose life?
you do remember.
More than you'll ever know.
Learptulla and Prixus kissed hard on the lips. For a brief moment, their embrace revealed an intense love that was reawakened, along with the brewing intense hatred regarding why it failed. With the first punch came a flurry of emotion, angry emotions that could only be counted as a form of betrayed love. Love that may have been hundreds, possibly even thousands of years old.
Queen Learptulla, please.
I will need you in the briefing room, with the others, within the hour. Be present and be ready.
She didn't mean it, you know. It's a side effect of remembering. And with every wipe undone, the emotion outbursts only get worse.
Why did the queen attack you?
In Kampua 9, both she and I were gladiators. But under the rules of the Reptilian governor, gladiators were forbidden to fall in love. But we did. The day finally came when both of us had to face off in the arena. But neither of us could land the killing blow. The Reptilian crowd was angered as they saw no resolution of a never-ending match. It was then the Reptilian governor gave us both a choice. Love or life. If we chose love, then we were both ordered to die by the way of the royal guard. If we chose life, then we continue to fight to the first cut. The one who is cut will not die, but will be wiped to become an Organi Drone and live in servitude for the rest of their life. And in that moment, she chose love so that we could die together. But I chose life because I would rather have both of us live, even if only one of us remembered the past. The governor grew furious to our differing choices and let the crowd choose which idea to go with, mine or hers. The crowd then chose mine. Life. We then fought to the first slice. I cut her on the other arm, and it was over. She was taken to be wiped. I was made the victor. It was by way of the Naga fates that we would end up on the Magolas together. Who would ever know that she was being sent to be sold, and who would have fathomed that I would be on the same ship headed to the next arena?
Perhaps the fates wish this to be your penance, to help her in this new life. For her to succeed, for her to become the queen of all Organi Drones. Can you help her become these things?
For the sake of forgiving the past, I pledge myself to make this come true.
Good.
However, as Plate L states, Learptulla was not the only one who remembered travesties of the past. For in the reptilian homeworld of Proxima Zeta 235, a congressional meeting was called to discuss something that the Draco would never ever forget. A withered old reptilian stepped into an immense oval building made entirely of stone. His council robe was made with the golden shed scales from a reptilian beast of burden. As he stared at 700 reptilian council members, all who were there were present and stoic. It was reported that a single mutinied slave ship had destroyed a Raptor-class starship. Intense worry plagued the Reptilian Council, for with this humiliating failure, the Congressional Draco Federation Prime Minister Batul asked one simple question.
How is this possible, Admiral Lysock? Explain this failure to me and to all of the Senate.
It happened because we grew careless, and now every Organi Drone knows that revolt can happen successfully. It makes them think we are now weak.
How dare they call us weak? Weakness is nature.
That is why I propose a new idea. Let the drones come to us with their pathetic army. Then, when they least expect it, we strike them hard. We set a trap for them. But in order for this to work, I will need all of you to trust me. Give me complete control of the Draco forces. And I promise you, I will root out the Magolas.
All in favor of giving Lysock full control. Hiss.
Every day, I put off signing my divorce papers. Gives me some form of control. But I know it's inevitable that I may have to sign them. I wanted to call my wife to find out how Ben was actually doing, but given the circumstances, I feared I would appear weak. So, I had to stay strong. I had to be collected as I finished these translations. But I digress. Returning to plate AC 225-307L, plagued by the memories of Learptulla's past lives, she felt guilt. Guilt for taking the serum. Guilt for knowing who she finally was, and guilt for being unsure how to end the cycle foretold to her in the de-wiping. Learptulla spoke to her people about a new home, a sanctuary from a vicious galaxy wishing to take their freedom away, somewhere safe, somewhere forgotten. Learptulla gave her crew the coordinates to the ancient world of Planet Su. When the Margolis arrived in the location of her dreams, they found themselves in a perfectly dense asteroid field protecting a planet that could only be described as perfect in size, complement in colors, atmospheric makeup, and temperature. Both Learptulla and Green were clad in refitted reptilian pressure suits. As they stepped out from their ships, they revealed a barren ruin of a world, where rivers and channel networks once flowed with sweet and perfect water. They were now bone dry. Even though the world was riddled with perfect towers and structures from a once proud and perfect people, there was the uncomfortable feeling of imperfection to its perfection. It was a perfect world rid of perfect people, a perfect tomb for a perfect time that was no more.
This is Sue? I thought it would be more beautiful, more perfect.
Nothing is perfect. Not then, not now.
Learptulla removed her helmet and took in a deep breath of Sioux air. Green did the same. With every building and every terrace, the voice in her head echoed something familiar. She turned to what appeared to be a symmetric, pyramidic courthouse. Without any warning, she left Green behind and moved in its direction.
Wait, where are you going? Learptulla.
The ruins of the courthouse revealed a large, echoey space for hundreds to sit. It appeared to be an oval acoustic amphitheater with tables facing one another. Within the center were 3 empty seats. Laser blast scars and shrapnel pockmarks stained the walls all around. Even the large, elegant steel doors were not free from these past wounds.
I remember what this place was. This was the Council of Ambassadors, a place of delegation. Hundreds used to come here from all over the cosmos. Allies and potential allies, they wanted unity. And
Learptulla stormed out of the congressional room,
Wait, where are you going?
then out of the building, then out to the perimeter of the pyramid, rushing until she neared the edge of the southern side.
Learptulla, wait.
It was then that she came to a stop. It was there Learptulla hoped that she would not see what she remembered. But with every step, her thoughts came back stronger than ever before.
By the Nagas. Pyramids of the dead. Learptulla, what is this?
I remember this. I remember this last day. These remains. These piles. They are the delegates, the emissaries, the rulers, and people. Bones after bones, piled and tossed. All these bodies just stacked into large, perfectly piled pyramids and blocks. It's a mockery of us.
So many dead. I can't imagine what must have happened here.
The Draco Reptilian Federation came to discuss terms. But rather than negotiate, they sent their fury from the seats of their warships. They rounded up everyone, the allies, the governors, the rulers of our planet by the thousands. They executed everyone on all the public channels. It took days for them to get through it. Blaster after blaster until the charge ran out of their guns and our leaders did nothing. Their shame and humiliation kept them from running. They accepted death without ever putting up a fight.
Why come here if there is so much sorrow? This seems difficult for you.
Because from this sadness, we can build anew and we can learn. The Organis can be safe among the tomb of these dead. This will be our new home for all the freed and all those who will be freed in the future. We will never stop fighting because the cycle will end here. Land the Margolis, we begin our settlement.
I heard Ben was now in a car crash. How could he be so stupid? I mean, how... He really wasn't worth all this drama. I mean, why couldn't he solve his own goddamned problems? I have to let my wife deal with this. I'm sorry, but I can't let my emotions get the better of me. I can't care about Ben's stupid antics. But to say I feel nothing would mean that I am not human. I just don't have the time to allow myself to care at the moment. After all, these translations are the most important thing right now for the furthering contribution to xenoanthropology. So, the aluminium tablets speak of a struggle and pain with no little regard for emotions. The appearance of empathy may be something universal to all intelligent species in the universe. But pondering such outlandish thought experiments would have the old god scientists from SETI shitting themselves with all of the theoretical groundwork they set upon my field. Oh well, pity for them, for this is my 5th edition translation, and it will be remembered as my work contributes to shaping the destiny of our own human species.
Although these ruins are incredibly old, it appears so well designed that settling the Freed here will be no problem.
We should open areas near the outskirts. Hopefully the ground is still perfect for growing.
I doubt there's anywhere here that isn't perfect.
Why are the Freed bowing and praying to me?
None of them remember their faiths. But in this journey, they have found solace in praying to you in your homeworld as their new belief. After all, you are their queen and their savior.
No, this is idol worship. When will everyone understand that I'm not perfect? When can they realize that I'm just an individual, like them?
It doesn't matter who you are. It's what you now stand for, salvation and sanctuary.
We'll see how long they act this way once we're ready for the next venture. Okay, we get settled, we get ready. Sooner we're set up here, the sooner we can liberate more people, get the memory machines up and running, and then we save these sorry souls. I see that the gladiators have taken refuge within the ancient ball court.
Learptulla, have you come to get reacquainted with your roots?
The memories strengthen me and bring me some kind of peace.
And with your memory restored, how would you like to spar with me, for old time's sake?
I have nothing to prove.
Well, let's just say it's for practice then. When you broke free in the Mongolas, what weapons did you use? A spear and the blaster, I suspect. Yes?
Yes, actually.
Good. Yeah. Use these against me. This spear. This blaster.
Learptulla, you can't be serious. Are you gonna fight him?
To the first slice. For old time's sake.
Prixus walked over to the support stands that held every curvy short sword. He picked up both and then faced Learptulla. He crossed them and then gave a nod to her.
I salute you for your blessing of challenge. Now, stand ready for this.
With immense ferocity, Prixus charged Learptulla and lunged with his dominant hand while using the second sword for his defense. Surprised by the attack, Learptulla took 3 steps to the side and then swung with her long spear in his direction.
Still leading with your right foot. You're so predictable.
Prixus deflected and then charged into her inner space.
And you have extended and swung the spear. With that time, you could have ended this fight.
With the recoil of the spear, Learptulla smacked Prixus across the face and then tripped him.
You tripped me.
With the momentum of Prixus's fall, he used it to take down Learptulla as well.
Giving up ground to take me down?
An entertainer must put on a show. Even
All shows come to an end. I have your sword by...
the game doesn't end till the roars of the arena are at its peak.
No one is watching this. Or are you just remembering the crowds from Kapua 9?
All the time. I'll pick up the gladius.
Both appeared happy, genuinely happy. Neither landed a single blow, neither wanted this moment to end, until Learptulla decided it was time to stop. With one grapple, Learptulla flung Prixus to the ground and then drew the blade to his neck.
Well, you've not lost any of your techniques. Now have it. I give you permission to take my life, as you should have done so many years ago.
No. You chose life then, and I choose it now.
Learptulla moved her sword away from his neck. She proceeded to help Prixus up.
We need people who are as well trained as you. Now, prepare your gladiators and teach the freed. We move for the Bastille.
The Bastille?
Of all the lives I lived, I was an Organi Drone that was tasked with wiping the memories of others. But in this sorrow, I remembered the processing facility. If we take this place, we free more imprisoned, and we gain unlimited serums for unlimited machines. The Bastille Space Fortress is a major trade hub. Up to 100,000 Organi drones are wiped and traded there every single day. If we hit them with every capable freed soul, it will cripple the Draco Federation. For this mission, I ask that you choose to join me. Just know, not all of us will survive. A lot of us will die.
Indeed, Learptulla was serious. And indeed, she expected everyone to go against the most fortified Draco outpost in the cosmos.
But they will know we're coming. Their ships will now be armored, and their defenses will be doubled.
Then we work with what we have. We train as many of the freed to fight in pressure suits, thruster packs, drills, blasters. Targets too small for the ships to sense, but it'll be a Bastillion that's large enough to land on the surface and depressurize its hull.
Well, what of the Reptilian fleet posting there? We are but one ship.
We may be one ship, but Sue has a large asteroid field, ripe with rocks that are dense enough to fasten to the repurposed weapons from the Reptilian cruiser we destroyed. We can use our tractor beam to tow as many armed asteroids as possible and mimic a fleet.
How can we mask hyperdrive cores in each of those armed asteroids?
We have nuclear warheads, a dozen of them. When they're armed, they give us an energy signal that can mimic the trails of an engine. We can use those. We can detonate them and eliminate whatever fleet comes at us. But it'll only work if we have Cosmeteers ready to go.
First you want a fake fleet, and now you want Organi drones to be seasoned Cosmeteers. You asked for the impossible, Reptilian.
I want you and your gladiators to train and lead the Cosmeteers. Green, let's plan the modifications for the Margolis. In 2 years' time, we take the Bastille. And after that, I promise you all, we will be one step closer to never fighting ever again. One step closer to finally returning all the freed to their homes and their families. Free to be truly unbound. Free from their control. Free from the cycle. Free to have choice.
My wife left a message that Ben was in critical condition in the hospital. Our talk was short and meaningless. She just was waiting for me to sign the papers, using Ben's catatonic state as bait. After all, she did not ask how my latest translations were going. At the end of our conversation, all she said to me was, "Please be present, for Ben at least." There was more that needed to be said, but there was an immense tension weighing on my mind. I heard my son's health was failing fast, and it left me in a predicament. be with him and endure the gaze of my angry wife? Or power through and finish the latest 5th edition? I knew that it was now or never for me to finish these translations as fast as possible and get them to every xeno-anthropological publisher immediately. Where was I? The refits to the Margolis were made with the remnants of Nerog's Peacebringer battlecruiser. The ship was now armed with salvaged mega laser turrets and reworked extended forward spikes securely fashioned for ramming purposes. A salvaged Reptilian tractor beam was also installed that could pull 10 times the mass of the actual vessel. The Margolis now towed 5 rounded asteroids armed with nuclear warheads and Reptilian-grade short-range laser cannons. When the Margolis dropped out of hyperspace, it began to magnetically swing its tractor toes around its hull, creating the asteroids to orbit around the vessel like gigantic morning stars. The distance between the armed and remotely controlled asteroids now grew to feign the arrival of a freed Organi fleet.
We've entered Draco Federation space. The Bastille is only 2,000 Calicans away.
This is our final push to attack the Bastille. Today, the Draco Federation will feel our vengeance!
All hail Queen Learptulla! Learptulla! We are ready to die for you, my queen.
Death salutes us this day.
We have 5 Raptor-class battle cruisers, fast approaching. We've taken direct hits, but refitted armor's holding.
Good! We're now evenly matched. Now operate the remote blasters on the asteroids. Fire at will!
Within moments, the orbiting 5 battle asteroids opened fire in the direction of the incoming Raptors.
The plan's working! The Draco are separating to engage the asteroids.
Perfect. Now, shut off the main engines and raise the solar sails to full mast. Move into shadow mode so they believe we've been destroyed.
More Raptors incoming. But they're skipping us. They really can't detect us.
Not while the asteroids are firing. Now, get some more distance. Let the Raptors descend on them, and on my mark, detonate the nuclear warheads.
We are far enough away. Warheads armed.
Good. Detonate the warheads and ride the wave toward the Bastille. Cosmoteers, stand ready.
The Margolis neared the Bastille space station.
Draco Bastille outpost. Surrender now or face my wrath.
How dare you threaten the Draco Federation station? Identify yourself, Raider.
I am Queen Learptulla, the liberator of the Organi Drones. Many have died at my hand, and this is your final warning. Cooperate now, or you and everyone else at your outpost will die horribly.
I would like to see how a pitiful junkyard ship could ever take a Reptilian Federation outpost. Your skulls will adorn the bulkheads when you fail to penetrate them.
Prepare to ram their docking bay. Tractor beam the side of its wall if we have to.
Brace for impact! Margolis is preparing to ram!
The Margolis endured the bombardments from the Bastille's embedded defense and crashed right into the docking bay. Its ramming prods punctured through 3 sections of its deck.
Whoa! Oh! Are you mad? If you rupture the docking bay, both your ship and our entire wing could be destroyed. You'll kill thousands.
If that's what it takes to free your Organis, then so be it. Rotate on the x-axis, all thrusters, hard vertical.
The Margolis slowly turned like a screw to continue its horrific devastation to the Bastille. It unleashed a devastating volley of furious wrath for cover fire. As it did, the docking bay slowly gave out.
All weapons, open fire at the front. Deploy all shuttles. Prepare to board once the wing tears.
All shuttles, deploy!
50 shuttles poured out of the open bays from the Margolis. They soared like chariots of the cosmos, moving into place for their strategy. A strategy that could only come from the mind of gladiators who were not afraid to die.
Deploy all Organic Cosmoteers.
And within an instant, each shuttle opened its cargo doors and released teams of Organi drones clad in refitted pressure suits and armed with large industrial drilling instruments propelled by Astro rocket packs. They evaded and dodged every blast, every piece of debris, and every incoming enemy heading towards the war-torn wing under siege. Prixus led the Organic Cosmeteers to land upon the wing's surface.
Land. Chill until you've breached, then move in after the depressurization. So it begins. The breach is imminent. All squadrons prepare for buckling.
Like an enchanted rippling wave across an immense beach of metal, the 1,000 holes complemented with the powerful grinding force of the Margolis caused the entire wing to depressurize and buckle. As it folded in on itself, Prixus and every Organi Cosmeteer did their best to jettison out of the way.
Know this? The entire might of the Draco Federation will descend upon you. You will now never be safe in any realm. The Federation
Their command center just depressurized. The rupture is complete. The entire wing is gone.
The space death laws are in our favor today. The deed is done.
Good. All engines stop and return to the first position. Cosmeteers, kill them all. Leave no reptilian alive.
Draw your rifles and gladii. We await both glory and death.
With each broken entryway, the intensity of the close-quarter fighting became too intimate for further blaster fire. The Cosmeteers had to resort to hand-to-hand combat. Prixus led the charge, drawing his gladius as he chopped through the depressurizing reptilians.
Worry not, you reptilian scum. My blade is more mercy than the void of the cosmos.
But the advantage of their entry was soon quelled by the reptilian soldiers clad in their own pressure suits and weapons. Organi Gladii met with Draco rapier steel, with both sides taking heavy casualties. From the wave of hundreds in the beginning, now only 50 remained.
Where are the Organi prisoners? Where are the serums? Where are the machines? There's nothing here.
Are we all that remains, Commander?
They died for her. And they died well. What more could any of us ever want?
Within the center of the main hold remained exactly 50 reptilians, 25 of which were armed with laser rifles that made the front line. The second line of 25 carried unusual weapons that weren't familiar to Prixus.
Take cover!
But as the Organi drones blasted away, the reptilian soldiers merely advanced, almost unafraid of the return fire. As they advanced, the second line began to shoot. The high-frequency noises of their weapons created clouded minds among the Organi drones. However, Prixus was not affected as terribly as the others. He was perplexed why they began screaming. But as he observed, he saw the true effect of this new weapon. For when the screaming stopped, the whispers inside their heads began.
Obey the officer. Kill the Organis. Obey the officer. Kill the Organis. Obey the officer. What are you doing? What are you all doing? Maintain order. We are brothers, not enemies.
Suddenly, each Organi turned against each other. As the Organis began attacking and killing each other, the reptilians fired at them. Prixus was overwhelmed from the laser fights and took refuge behind a fallen pillar.
Where are the prisoners? Where are the machines?
This was an ambush. There's nothing here. There's no Organi drones to liberate. They planned this. I must warn you. They carried a weapon I've never experienced. That one could warp the mind of any Organi.
Then pull your remaining Cosmeteers back. We can get out of here together.
I can buy you some time. It's time for me to finish this.
No, don't do this. You still have time.
Just know, I always, and I've always will love you. And I know
choose love.
I love you. And I forgive you.
Love? 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 You can't forgive anyone when they've betrayed you, when they've left you for dead, when after all those years just hand you papers asking that if you love us, then you can let us go. This concept of love is something that Mindy definitely did not and should not have revised in my original version. Love is a weakness. Love is control, and to succeed in anything, in linguistic xenoanthropology, in anything doing with engineering, in life, you must never choose love. Where was I? And with those words, Prixus disabled his communication and moved from hiding to face what was to come.
Forgive me, but I must obey the voices. Loyalty over life.
I will give you all a good death. Ceasefire. The mind ray was effective. They killed each other. Check the bodies for survivors. Now, Lysock to the fleet. The Organi drones are subdued. Call in the fleet. This ends now.
Within moments, a fleet of 100 strong reptilian raptors and support craft dropped from hyperspace. One ship in particular followed right behind. Its presence was menacing, 10 times larger than any Raptor-class battlecruiser, the largest that any of them have ever seen.
Admiral Lysock, the Komodo and the fleet has arrived, and it is in position now.
Excellent. Surround the Margolis. We aim to take them alive.
With the Komodo closing in, along with hundreds of reptilian cruisers surrounding the Margolis, Learptulla realized at this moment, for the first time since she awoke, she was about to fail.
We're surrounded, my queen.
As Lysock's soldiers checked the bodies, Prixus feigned death for this single moment. It was then that he ascended, covered in blood and gore from the brothers and sisters he had previously slain.
By the Nagas, one is still alive.
Death comes to those with no cunning.
Prixus killed every reptilian, leaving only Lysock alive. But Lysock still held a mind ray rifle and turned it against Prixus.
You're still resisting, even when your Organi drones are no more. When your ship is surrounded. Why?
Because I choose love.
Love. Or perhaps your effect is just delayed. Your will is strong. You must have been a gladiator.
May all who are sane bear witness to the might of Sakita Supreme, Princess of Tapua 9.
Come at me, gladiator, for I am the only reptilian who will ever give you a fighting chance.
The swordplay was swift and magnificent.
A good death. A good death indeed. I will be there shortly to see you in a cosmic afterlife.
Lysock pointed his blaster at Prixus, and with one shot, he killed the gladiator.
No.
Learptulla, what do you want us to do? Learptulla, what do you want us to do?
He's gone.
What do you
He's
want
gone.
us to, what do we do? What do you want us to do?
Learptulla! Wake up! Learptulla! What do we do? What do you want us to do?
Ram the remaining wing of the Bastille as we do activate hyperdrive. Let's all have a good death.
A good death? A good and violent death? We all chose this, don't we? It has been an honor, Learptulla.
It has been an honor, my brave Freed. In the next life, I hope the cycle is broken and we will all live well. Engage hyperdrive through the Bastille on my mark. Ram!
Ramming!
The Margolis hyperdrove right into the remaining wing of the Bastille, causing half the entire station to disintegrate within an instant. Yet, the storage facility where Lysock and Frixus fought mysteriously remained intact.
What was that? Those maniacs! All ships check for any remains of the Margolis. If there is no debris, then the Margolis and its organic crew are still out there.
And Lysock was right to believe that this was not the end of the Margolis, for he knew when hyperdrive engines activate, regardless of the devastation, a polarizing force field is created from the effect of warping space and time around the ship. Therefore, even if they were to ram, the force field would protect the ship as long as the acceleration distance was far enough between the ship and the target. The Margolis remained in hyperspace until the engines overheated. The ship now ran on inertia, tattered in its hull, ripped from its solar sails, and partially collapsed in its habitation chambers. The Margolis and its remaining crew somehow remained alive.
Are we dead? Or are we alive?
We're alive, but how? Status report on the Margolis.
The hyperdrive engines are down, and our docking bays are in bad shape. But we are still alive.
Where are we? I don't recognize these stars.
I don't know. I don't know how long we were traveling in hyperdrive. We are lost. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do, Learptulla?
I don't know.
In the end of it all, Learptulla and her crew were left adrift to ponder how they could get back to Planet Sue. Learptulla accepted her failure. Learptulla realized she was not perfect. Because perfection does not exist. Whether it is pride or not, giving in is sometimes better. Better for the soul, better for friendships, just better. After holding out for so long, oh hell, oh hell, oh hell! There! She has her divorce papers. She and Ben can have more. I'm done. I'm just done. And now I'm free. Free to refine my translations on Edition 5 and to begin a detailed exploration into Plate N.
This has been the Epic of Learptulla, Episode 2, The Remembering. Narrated and translated by Dr. B.B. Wagner, Professor of Linguistics, Xenopaleoanthropology, and Xenofolklore at State College University. Further assistance, if you can call it assistance to rework the entire section from Dr. Wagner's Tame Edition 4, but sure. Further assistance was provided by me, Mindy St. Clair, PhD candidate. Compiled and edited by Neil Thompsett and Angela Jorgensen. Academic publishing by Thompsett Publishing 2024. Voices by Neil Thompsett, Derek Ueda, Angela Jorgensen, and Jessica Lutton. Sound editing, vocal production, mixing, and scoring by Jonnic Thompsett.